Mr. Vineet Bhatia.
Vineet, please.
Vineet, you are an entrepreneur, you're a chef, you're a food innovator. What has given you the passion to go into this business? How did it happen?
Oh, how it happened? It happened totally by error. I never wanted to be a chef. I wanted to be a pilot. I grew up in Mumbai, and every morning at 6:30 used to be the flight from Mumbai to Bahrain, funny enough, on a DC-10 Gulf Air. And that was my wake-up call. I used to get up with the sound of the aircraft flying over my house, get ready and go to school. So I always said when I grew up I want to be a pilot. And when the age came for me to apply, I did apply for the defense services to be a fighter pilot. I passed my exam and everything was fine, but medically they said my leg length is short. And then I had a call from hotel management. In my first year, for the internship, you have to go to a hotel to work. So I go to the hotel training office, could give an interview, and they said, where do you want to work? And I said, I want to work in a bar. And they looked at me up and down and I said, how tall are you? And I said, 5'4". And I said, you barely reach the bar counter. So he said, we can only offer you the kitchen. It was like working for the army or for the Air Force. And I love discipline. And I said, wow, this is what I want to do. I want to cook.
And it's very lucky that you developed a passion in another area of interest that
it just fell together. And I think I loved cooking for the sense of discipline, because the people who were around me, or the mentors then, the chefs there, were very structured in their approach. And if you want to produce something in life and you want to do something in life, it has to be very structured and very focused. And once you can get that focus right, then things just fall into place in a matter of time. I fell in love with food overnight. It's a love affair which hopefully lasts forever now.
Well, you fell in love to such an extent that you were the first, I believe, Indian food restaurateur, chef that actually was able to obtain a Michelin star.
Yes.
When did that happen and how did that happen?
I was the first restaurateur chef to have got it in 2001. When we got the award, it was totally unexpected. We had gone through a very bad partnership, and the whole idea was to do a restaurant and do it well. The Michelin came as a byproduct of what we believed in, and we had a call from New York. And I said, 7:30 in the morning, this is a prank. And the lady called up, she said, no, please don't hang up, I'm calling from New York. I have a press release in front of me which says you have been given the Michelin star. And I was stunned for 15-20 seconds, didn't know what to say.
So it wasn't the Michelin star people, it was a media.
It was a media.
Yeah.
And the Michelin, what it did was it puts you onto a different podium altogether. Not that I was seeking it, but what I'm very appreciative about is that it took me as a serious chef. It put the food into a different league. And I've always said, and I still say, that Indian food is amongst the best you can get, but it has to be done right. On to your right is a cold rice. It's called Thayar Sadam from South India.
Okay.
And it's a very classic South Indian dish to have with spicy food.
Right.
But this is not spicy. I know you don't like spicy food, but it's just curd rice.
Yeah.
In the center you have saffron chutney.
Right.
With the saffron and yogurt.
And that's to go with the rice?
That's to go with the rice, and also with the cube which you have. The cube in front of you is actually an upma.
It looks like tofu.
Tofu. That's for you play on the ice.
Yeah.
You play visually. Upma is a South Indian breakfast dish.
Right.
And it's very coarse and rough and crumbly.
Right.
What we do is we make it moist.
Okay.
We set it into a tray and cut them into cubes, and then we crumb it and we deep fry it, flash fry it.
Right.
So it's very crispy on the outside, but
Right.
it's very soft and luxurious when you eat.
Okay.
And on the base of that, we have a small amount of beetroot mash.
Okay. So Vineet, how many of your restaurants are there that you own and that you have joint ventures with around the world? How many in total?
12 in total, and out of which 3 are Rasois. Rasoi is a very specific brand for us because that is where our blood is. That's what our strongest point is. I mean, very selective of where we put the Rasoi and who we put it to. And having said that, that doesn't mean it demeans other restaurant. It is just Rasoi is very focused on its food. So you have Rasoi London, the original. You have Rasoi Geneva, and then you have Rasoi Bahrain. So these 3 are main Rasoi. Then we have restaurants in Mumbai, we have restaurants in Dubai, we have Doha, we have Saudi Arabia, Geneva, and Mauritius. We also do in-flight for Qatar Airways for first class and business class. So the Middle East has been very good for us, and that's where the growth has been.
The last time we met, you mentioned to me that you didn't actually like curry very much. Can you elaborate a bit on this?
I don't like the word curry. I think it's a very derogatory term used for Indian food, to showcase Indian food. If you go to India, there's so many kinds of curries. You know, when I was working and training in India, guests would ask me, can I have a curry? And I would say, I would laugh within myself. I said, these guys don't know, they're ignorant. There are 110 types of curries you can have. Which one do you want? You want a korma, you want a musalam, you want a kalia, there's so many types. And they only say something spicy or something non-spicy. So you know exactly what it is, chicken, protein. In the UK, when I went in '93, it was very different because it was a curry house image. And that was very embarrassing and insulting for me, because you go down to Indian restaurant after the pub closes and you have another 2-3 pints of beer, you break a few bottles of beer, have some papadam, mango chutney, you have a fight, and you have a very spicy Indian food, so-called Indian food, a curry. You're killing your own self. It is not true Indian food. Indian food is all about love and care. It's the way it is done, the spices are done. And if you ask me honestly, the best cooks are the housewives and the moms, the ladies. Because they cook for the family.
Absolutely.
They cook out of love and care.
Yeah.
Here we have the food here.
The next course. Brilliant.
Thank you, Godwin.
Thank you. Thank you.
What are you having here is a
Right.
banana leaf wrapped mulberry lamb.
Right.
It's a South Indian style lamb. It's got
Okay.
coconut in that.
Okay.
You will serve that with yogurt or a raita made out of pomegranate.
Okay.
You have pomegranate jelly.
Right.
And this is a very classic kebab made out of lamb.
Right.
What I'm having here is a sun-dried tomato flavored chicken tikka.
Right.
Normally our chicken tikka red in color.
Right.
They add chili paste or paprika paste, but here is sun-dried tomatoes.
Right.
And the green one is just fresh coriander, fresh mint, and a hint of basil in there.
Fantastic.
A little chutneys and some cucumber on the side.
So, would you say that you've been influenced by the Japanese style of? I mean, with the Japanese cuisine in particular, it's how it looks also determines how it tastes. Is that?
Yes, I mean I am very biased towards Japanese food because I just love the simplicity and the cleanness. My favorite cuisine is Japanese besides Indian, and I would have it 3 times a day, very happily. And what I like is their ethos to buy quality product and do the least with it, because the purity and the flavors of the fish or whatever they use is so good, the quality is so good that you don't need to do much to it.
Absolutely.
It speaks for itself. And the same thing we apply with our Indian cuisine. We try and source products which are top quality and give it a little spice treatment and the flavor treatment which can bring it to life a little better.
Absolutely. Vineet, could you tell us a little bit about your concept for Rasoi at the Gulf Hotel and why you chose, in fact, the Gulf Hotel as your location in Bahrain?
We didn't choose Gulf Hotel, I think they chose us.
Okay.
So we were very honored and privileged to have been asked by the hotel to do a joint venture with them. So when Gulf Hotel came up, they said we would like to have your restaurant in our hotel. And my first question was, that's nice and flattering, but which one are you going to close? And he said, why are you going to close? We're going to add one more restaurant. And that was the clincher for me. Because when you close something and want to open, means there's an issue, there's a problem. But if you're adding one more, means there is a demand. Absolutely. And you're doing something right. Yeah. Now, Gulf Hotel is legendary. It's been for 45 years. I've been going to Al Khobar through Bahrain for the past 6.5, 7 years. So I knew the hotel. So when it came to me as saying we would like to have a restaurant here, it was a no-brainer.
Vineet, in a career that spans, I think, 3 decades now, what would you consider to be your proudest achievement?
People would probably think this is my first Michelin star, is the proudest moment. But I would say no. I think when we got the Michelin star for Rasoi, which was our 100% owned restaurant in 2006, I think that has to be the proudest moment for us. And after that, I would say is I trained in India in '85 at the Oberoi's as a stagiaire, peeling potatoes, pulling stoves, peeling garlic, getting all the flack from my seniors. 5.5, 6 years back, we were asked by the same hotel to come back and do a restaurant in the same
Fantastic,
kitchen.
yeah.
So Zia at the Oberoi Mumbai is again very important for us and close to our heart because that is where it began for me.
You say that you serve India on a plate. Vineet, could you tell us exactly what that plate looks like?
The plate is on its way. You will see, you had a first glimpse.
Thank you.
India is about color. It's about history, it's about culture, it's about heritage, it's about people. It's so diverse. When it comes to food, it is equally diverse. So when you try and do things onto the plate, it has to have a composition where all these senses are feeded. Food is colors and flavors. And that's exactly a reflection of what we try and put onto the table. So that is the small little plate, 22 by 22 or 28 by 28 in front of you, is my little India, is my tribute to India.
Fantastic.
And then each restaurant which we have is bespoke. It is tailor-made for the requirement. And although we say Rasoi as a paramount and is at the upper level, places like Indigo and Zia are similar because each restaurant wanted to have its own concept and own name. They didn't want to buy the brand in of Rasoi, but they want to create their own, which we respect. And it's always worked for us. We're serving you here a lobster dish.
Lobster, right.
It's got a lemon rice, and the lovely sauce on the base is basically coconut milk and beetroot. I'm having a local fish hamur, and it's got it's got couscous, and I have a little sauce made of lentils here.
Right. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Brilliant.
Food has to be, there has to be a playfulness about food.
Okay.
You know, when you, like I told you earlier, you have to finish off a meal, or when you go off, you have to go back with a memory of food. You have, that's one of our oldest dishes we do, is the chocolate samosa.
But you're going to help me with this, yeah? I can't have all this myself.
I'll help you, I'll help you. I have sweet teeth.
Fantastic.
This one is the chocolate delis with caramelized chicky. Chicky is caramelized nuts.
Okay.
Now the history with this dish is, this was the last dish on Concorde which flew from New York to London. But this one is again a very classic Indian dessert.
Yeah.
The gulab jamun.
Yeah. Oh man, that's gulab jamun.
That's gulab jamun, but it's inside a cheesecake
Wow.
made with roses
Phew.
and a rose kulfi, which is an egg-free ice cream. And the little eggs you see here, caviar, is a rose caviar.
Rose caviar.
So, George, please do the honors.
I don't know where to start.
Have the samosa.
Lovely. Oh yeah, samosa and that, yes. And that's it. And oh my goodness, right. Samosa, unbelievable. This
You can hear the crunch?
You can.
The crackle?
Snap, crackle and pop.
That's chocolate.
Mr. Vineet, thank you so much for this splendid experience.
Thank you.
Congratulations, and you know, your passion and your professionalism is true. It's not up to me or anyone from Bahrain saying that, but what you have done has been so remarkable in so many ways, and thank you for sharing that with us.
Real pleasure. Thank you.
Good luck. Thank you.